Welcome to Code Jogging. Today, we are going to look at the use of progress indicator component in our app. And I believe you've watched our previous videos. If not, please start watching the video from day one. That's from the video number 1 to the last video. The reason you have to do that is if you don't do that, you are not going to understand what we are going to learn today. Okay. And as we've dedicated our time to explain the basic concept in computer programming. In this video, we are focusing on the Compose UI in mobile app development. Kindly subscribe to our channel to receive more content from us, and also turn off the notification button so that anytime we upload a new content, you get a notification and then we all learn together. Today, we are going to look at the progress indicator in Compose UI. When we talk about the progress indicator, we are talking about showing an action in progress to the user. Let me explain it further for you to understand. When we are talking about showing an action progress to the user, we are talking about, for example, you allow the user to perform an action, for example, downloading the file or uploading a file. Now, when the user clicks on the upload file and the person selects the file, or maybe we ask the person to change his or her profile picture, or we ask someone to send a file, like we are having a chat app and we want the person to send a file to the one or the contact he or she is chatting with. Now, when the file is being sent, or we want to send a file, and the file size is huge, maybe the file is bigger than or it's larger than 1 megabyte, or the file size is more than maybe 1 kilobyte. It will take a while for the file to be sent to the receiver. So from the moment the person uploads the file till the file reaches the receiver, there should be a progress telling the person that, okay, now you have uploaded a file, or the file you are sending has reached 15%, 20%, 30%, and so on until it gets to 100%. So the progress that we are showing the user, we can achieve that using the progress indicator in Android or in Compose UI. So here we are going to look at one example too. For example, we want to download a movie from a website. Maybe you visited a movie platform and then you are being given the permission to download a movie from the platform. Once you click on download, then if you are using your default internet browser or you are using any download manager, it will start showing you the progress that maybe you've downloaded 10%, 20%, and 30%. So that's how progress indicator is in programming language. Now, let's bring the examples I've given you into the mobile app development. Now, anytime we want to show a progress, example, submission of forms, uploading file or downloading file, we need to show a progress. We can do that in mobile app development or in Compose UI using the progress indicator. So now let's look at the types of the progress indicator that we have. From the example I said, we have the download manager to download our file. It shows everything in a line form. The progress indicator is being shown in a line form, like a horizontal form. And if you are using WhatsApp to download a file, you see that the progress indicator will be shown in a circular form. So this means that we have two types of progress indicator. We have the linear progress indicator that shows in a line form or in a horizontal form, and then you have a circular progress indicator that shows in a circular form or in a circle form. Okay, so these are the two types of the progress indicator. we have we have um we have the linear, and then we have the circular. Okay, so we have the linear progress indicator, and then we have the circular progress indicator. Okay, so now we are going to write code. Okay, and I've said that anytime you're going to write a code, you have to understand what you are going to do. Other than that, you write a boilerplate codes. So now what we are going to learn here is to write a code for the linear progress indicator. Now, for us to show the linear progress indicator, we have to type linear and then wait for the IntelliSense to pop up. And then we have a lot of linear progress indicator here. We will select the first one for now, and then we will run our code. Okay, so now whilst we are waiting for our app to run, we can also look at, oh, our app is ready. Okay, so now we have a linear progress indicator. We are finding it difficult to see because we can now see it here. So for us to make it visible to us or easy to read the linear progress indicator, let's use one of the layout components. We are going to use box, and then we are going to use the modifier to give the file size parent, and then we are going to center the content. So let's center it, and then we will move our linear progress indicator to the box. So let me run the code again. Okay, so now we can see our linear progress indicator. Now we are going to look at the modes of progress indicator. We have two modes in progress indicator. The first mode is the indeterminate, and then the second mode is the determinate. So when you are talking about the indeterminate, we are talking about at the point where we don't know when our progress bar is going to end, or the activity or the action the user performed is going to end until we meet certain condition. For example, submission of a form. We can't tell a user that the form you are submitting, you've submitted 30% out of the 100%. It's impossible for us to do that. So for us to use the progress bar, then you have to use the indeterminate mode. So for example of the indeterminate mode, that's what we are showing here. It runs forever. It doesn't end. So we can then set, oh, okay, when this button is being clicked, then stop. So let's call a button. Okay. So for us to achieve that, then you have to declare a variable, let's say state equal, let's use by, remember. Okay, we are going to use the state remember, and then you have to import it, and then we call the mutable state of, then we are going to use boolean. Okay, so now let's import the extension. And in case you don't understand this, we've done videos on that. That's the state management in Compose UI. So you can go and watch that video. So what we are going to do is if state is false, if state is false, that's if state is false, then show this. So when the user clicks on the button, we are going to show okay, if state is true, let's make it this way. So if state is true, then let's show this. So it's a var, we need to change this to this instead of being a constant. Okay, so now we are going to display a test. Okay, so test, and then we are going to say submit form. Okay, so here let's use column layout group so that yes, so that we can have both the indicator and then so here it has a property vertical aligned. Then we can have a vertical align vertical arrangement center. Okay, so runtime need to import yes for the var because we changed from being constant to a variable, so now I have to import it again. So now we are going to say click okay submit form. So let's run our app to see the UI you've created. And you should know that we are still talking about the indeterminate mode. Okay, so now let's run our app, and here we go. Yes, so let's add some small modification to our test. So color white, okay, and then let's center okay, let's center our components in the column components. So now let's run our app again, and yes, so now the logic we are going to do here is to perform an on-click event. And when the user click on this button, we are assuming that the user wants to submit a form. So we want to show a progress or something indicating or telling the person that the action you want to perform is still in progress. We will let you know when the action is being done or it has ended. Okay, so let's click on this button, and then now we can see that the progress is now showing. This one, we don't know when the progress is going to end because it's impossible for us to know the progress total size or the submission form size because it's not a file. Okay, so let's look at the point where we know that um the point where we know the total size of the file, and then we are going to show the progress in, let's say, in sequential order, so it will increase by a certain percentage. And bear in mind that with the in the indeterminate mode, it runs forever, but the determinate mode it doesn't. So if you are sure that you know the total file size that you are going to upload or you are going to download, or the total file size of the action you are going to perform, then it's good for you to use the determinate. So now let's look at the use of the determinate and then see how we are going to implement it in our project. So instead of using the boolean here, we are going to switch to float. Okay, so we are not going to hide anything, and then we are going to show okay, let's make this one integer. Okay, so then we are going to have plus plus. Okay, so um let's say click to update the progress. Okay, so this one is a dummy code that we are using here. So when we are going to implement it in our project, then we look at how we are going to do that. Okay, so we are going to add a space in between the progress and then the button. So spacer, then we are going to have modify height, then we are going to give it 10 dp. And in case you want to know how to use the spacer and the modifier height, you can watch from the previous videos. Okay, so now let's run our app. Okay, so whilst we are waiting for our app to run, we also have to look at um the we have to also look at the determinate. Okay, now we have our app here. Now you said click to update the progress, but here we are still in the indeterminate mode. So for us to switch from the indeterminate mode to the determinate mode, then we have to go here and then we have to call a property called progress equal. Then you have this one. Oh, progress. Yes. So we have progress, but progress must be in a float form. Yes. Now you can see we have progress to be in a float form. So for progress to be in a float form, then let's assume we know the um let's assume we know the file size here. Okay, so let's say total progress, that's the total file size, or let's use total progress equal, let's say 10. So now it's going to be total progress, so total progress times 100. Okay, okay. So with this, total progress times 100. And then, so it means that if you have 1 to be 1 over 5 times 100. Okay, and then we can have this. Yes, let me see, floats to floats. Yes. Okay, so now um let's okay, so let's check the progress. Okay, so now we are not going to use the increments because okay, now let's still stick to the progress. So let's run our code and then let's see what will happen. Okay, so now we can see that the progress has increased a little bit, but we can't find that one. Okay, so now let's click on this. Okay, for the plus, yes. Oh, okay, because we didn't restrict it. Okay, instead of us to use this one, let's first give it um for you to see before you continue with what we are doing. Let's call this one and see. Yes. So now this one we know that we've moved the progress to 50% out of the 100% that we have. Okay, so it means that anytime you want to switch from the indeterminate to determinate mode, then you have to call the progress, and the progress start from 0.0 to 1.0. So that is the range, and it should always be in a float. Okay, so in case you have a huge file size and then you want to show a progress bar of the download progress, then you have to calculate. So it should be the the file downloaded over the total file size times 100. Okay, so it should be in a floating form. Okay, so now that's what we've done here so far. So with the 0.5 means is half of 1, that's 50% of 100. Okay, so now what we are going to look at is the custom linear progress indicator. Yes, so using the custom linear progress indicator, we are talking about how we can modify the linear progress, because now we are using the default design. Okay, so the custom is where we can change the color to, okay, instead of using the primary color, we can change the color to red. Okay, so let's run our code again. Yes, so now we've changed our color to red, and let's change the background color to green. To green. Okay, it says, okay, okay, let's look at the properties we have. So let's visit, okay, 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 okay. So we can use the linear color indicator here. Okay, okay. So let's go back to our project. And instead of color, we can use indicator colors. Okay, okay. So let's run our code again. Okay, so now you can add a lot of modification to it. You can change the background color, the stroke, and those kind of, yes. So you can do that one. But for us not to waste much time, let's also look at the other type of the progress indicator. That's the circular progress indicator. And as I've explained it earlier, that it shows in a circle or in a circular form, we are going to look at that one too. So for us to do that, instead of using the progress, because it has the same properties. So instead of us to use the progress, we're rather going to use this. Okay, so now let's run our code. Yes, so now that's the circular progress indicator. So we can also use the indeterminate. So if you are going to use the indeterminate, then we are going to have something like this. Yes. So for example, if we are submitting a form, we can use this one, the circular progress indicator, to show that we are now submitting the forms. Okay, so now we've covered how to use the progress indicator in Compose UI. I believe you've understood everything, and in case you didn't understand all the things we've talked about today, you can watch the video again, or you can leave your questions at the comment section, and then we will respond to it. And also, if you have suggestions that can help us to run this channel very well, you're always welcome. You can use the channel email address to reach out to us, and then once we receive it, we will look at it and then also get back to you. And also, thanks for those who have been sending us a mail. Okay, because I realized that some people were saying that there were a lot of background noise in our video. Yes, we've received your mail and then we've taken action on that. And I believe you'll find this video to answer or as a feedback to the email you sent to us. Please kindly subscribe to our channel, and if you've not subscribed on our channel, please do that, and also turn off the notification button so that anytime we upload a new content, you will get a notification and you won't miss any lesson from this channel. Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in our next video. Bye bye.